ClickUp looks incredible until you open it for the first time and feel like you accidentally got promoted to a NASA project manager. Spaces, folders, lists, tasks, docs, dashboards, views, automations, and now AI because apparently regular confusion needed an upgrade. So in this ClickUp AI review, I'm going to keep it simple. First, I'll cover the basics because the AI only matters if the platform underneath it makes sense. Then we'll look at ClickUp Brain and whether it actually helps beginners save time, organize work, and avoid turning their workspace into a digital junk drawer. And before we begin, if you want to try ClickUp, I'll leave a link down below in the description of the pinned comment where you can get taken to a page that looks very similar to this and click on the button right here to start for free. No card's going to be needed, you can test it out, build a workspace, and only upgrade later if you need the paid features. So for this review, I'm going to be using a fresh ClickUp account so I can show you around without putting private info on the screen. This is more of a review than a full tutorial, so I'll keep ClickUp open for context while I talk through exactly what matters the most. So a big benefit of ClickUp is that it gives you one central place to organize everything you need. And when it's set up correctly, it can be really powerful. You can create tasks, organize them into lists, separate different parts of your business or life into spaces, create docs, build dashboards, and switch between different views like list view, board view, calendar, and many more, as you can see right here. I personally love going through these. I think they look great, especially when you have tasks to do. It's easy to see when you jump from one to the next, to the next, to the next, and so on and so forth. I say that flexibility is one of ClickUp's biggest strengths, but it is also where beginners can get punched directly in the productivity, so to speak, because ClickUp gives you a lot. I mean, just take a look at the side dashboard on the left. There's so many icons and so many things going on. And when a tool gives you a lot, the first question becomes, okay, what am I actually supposed to use? And having a look at the left side here, just with all these bells and whistles, this is where I think ClickUp can feel overwhelming just at first. Not because it's bad, but because it's a very customizable software, and customizable tools require decisions. You have to decide how to structure things. What belongs in a space, what belongs in a folder, what belongs in a list, what should be a task, what should be a doc, and so on and so forth. And while I am giving a review here, I do want to give you a very important tip if you're going to be a beginner using ClickUp. And it's not to use every feature. It's starting simple, very simple. If I was setting up ClickUp from scratch, I would not start with automations, dashboards, advanced reporting, custom workflows, and 12 different views. This is how you end up with a productivity system that technically works, but spiritually attacks you every time you open it. So that's a quick overview and review of the hierarchy and the simple aspects of ClickUp that can be very helpful to you when you use them properly. Now let's talk about the AI features, because this is where ClickUp is trying to make the tool feel smarter. ClickUp Brain is basically ClickUp's AI layer. The idea is that it can help you write, summarize, generate tasks, answer questions, and pull information from your workspace. So the real question is not just, does ClickUp have AI? Of course it does. And at this point, every software tool has AI. Heck, your toaster probably has a chatbot by now as well. The better question is, does the AI actually help you get work done? So here's a few important questions that I'm going to answer. Can AI summarize your work? Yes. And this is one of the more useful parts. If you have long documents, meeting notes, task comments, or project updates, ClickUp Brain can help condense that into something your brain can actually survive reading. So instead of digging through a wall of updates like you are decoding ancient tablets, you can actually get the main points faster. Can it help write tasks? Of course it can. This can be helpful when you have a messy idea and need to turn it into something more actionable. You can go from, say, making a video about ClickUp to a cleaner task with steps, notes, or a better description. It's not going to magically do the work for you because sadly we still live in that economy, but it can help you get from vague idea to actual next step. And here's going to be an example where I did exactly that. I'm creating a best project software video. What do you think is a good idea? Let's tag the brain right here. And if we look at the AI results, it says you're losing 5+ hours a week to the wrong management tool and you don't even realize it. Not too bad of a hook if you ask me, and it gives you a few more angles if needed. Talking about the best PM software, lists are lying to you. I tested 10 of them. Stop before you sign up for another one. Check out this. So it talks about the pain and curiosity. And that's ultimately going to be how easy it is if you need more help when it comes to going through your tasks, setting them up, adding more descriptions, or just making sure they flow more properly so whoever's going to be on the other side of it, whether it be you or someone else, has crystal clarity upon what they need to do. And of course, you can get the best out of managing your projects and actually getting them done and completed. How about, can AI save a beginner time? Yes, but with a small warning label slapped on the side. It can save time by, say, summarizing, writing, organizing, and helping you find things faster, but it will not save you from learning the basic ClickUp structure. You still need to understand the spaces, folders, lists, and tasks, pretty much a lot of the stuff that I showed you in this review, which doesn't take too long to figure out, which is always a good thing. Otherwise, you are basically handing AI a messy closet and saying, "Good luck, little robot." And here's just another example of what AI can do. We created a list of YouTube thumbnail creation, and based upon that, we can click on Get AI Suggestions right here. Let's give it a moment to load, which shouldn't be too long. And as you can see, it gives us specific custom fields that we can utilize if someone was going to be creating YouTube thumbnails. Let's say we want to use those, we can do Apply Suggestions. All right, let's say we want to do our project management thumbnail, something like that. Let's do save. We can click on it right here. And to make our life so much easier, as we scroll down, if we look at the fields right here, it's going to be just a wealth of information that we can actually go in here and add to it. So we have the actual specific deadline, the color palette. So we want to make it look clean so it doesn't have too many colors on it. You know, the script status, the target audience, we can all fill this in. So you have so many more details when it comes to giving it to the person that needs to do it, right? And this is thanks to AI, because a lot of times you might not even put these in there and someone will say like, "Hey, how long is this going to be? I need to know for the thumbnail because I can't say get started with ClickUp in 2 minutes when the video is 50 minutes. So thanks to AI here, there's going to be a lot of different fields that you can utilize. Once again, that's another great reason why it's great for beginners, because beginners might not think of these things, especially depending on the project that you're going to be using to manage and give to other people to complete. And overall, what I've talked about when it comes to AI and ClickUp, I think this is where just it makes the most sense. Like, it's not going to be magic. It's not going to take a completely chaotic business and suddenly just flip it into a clean, calm, organized masterpiece while you sip coffee and pretend Monday is optional. But if your workspace has structure, like if you're starting as a beginner, it looks something similar to this, ClickUp AI can make that structure easier to use. The AI is not the foundation, it's the accelerator, and there's a very big difference there. So we spent a good amount of time talking about AI. I want to push that to the side and just talk about the overall pros and cons. More specifically, let's talk about what I like right now. The first thing I like is that ClickUp can replace a bunch of smaller tools if you use it correctly. As we talked about and even shown here, you can manage tasks, you can write docs, plan projects, track deadlines, create templates, collaborate with a team, and for a lot of people, having one place for all of that is just a huge benefit. The second thing I like is the flexibility overall. You can use ClickUp for simple task management, or you can build out a more advanced system over time. This is important because your workflow may change. When you are starting out, you may only need a simple to-do list. Later, you may want automations, templates, dashboards, workflows, client training, or just content pipelines. ClickUp can grow with you. The third thing I like, and I mentioned this previously, is going to be the views. Some people love lists, some people like boards, some people need calendars, some people just want timelines. Regardless, ClickUp gives you options, which is great because not everyone is going to think the same way or just want the same thing overall. A list view might not be perfect for managing tasks, a board view might be a better content pipeline, and of course you have a calendar view might be better for planning publishing dates. The flexibility is genuinely useful. And the fourth thing I like is that the free account gives you a real way to test it. That matters because with software like this, you do not really know if you like it until you actually use it. You need to click around, create a few tasks, build a simple workflow, and see if your brain likes how it feels. Some tools look great in screenshots and then feel awful when you actually use them. ClickUp gives you a way to try it without immediately throwing your card into the productivity volcano. So we talked about the likes, now we're going to move on over to the dislikes. So what did I not like? The biggest downside is going to be the learning curve. ClickUp is not impossible to learn, but it is also not the kind of tool where every beginner will open it instantly and know exactly what to do. There are a lot of features, settings, and ways to organize things, and if you're not careful, you can overbuild your workspace before you even start using it. The second downside is that ClickUp can feel like too much if you only need a basic to-do list. If your entire workflow is just buy milk, call Steve, and pay invoice, you may not need something this powerful. ClickUp is best when you have projects, moving pieces, recurring work, content clients, tasks, or just a team. If you just need a super simple checklist, ClickUp may feel like showing up to a grocery store in a military helicopter. Technically impressive, maybe not necessary. And I'd say the third downside is that the AI features are only as useful as your workflow. This is not really a ClickUp problem, it's an AI problem in general. AI needs context. If your tasks, docs, and projects are organized, the AI can help more. If everything is messy, vague, or half-built, the AI has less to work with. So if you're a beginner, I would not start by asking, how do I use every AI feature? I would start by asking, how do I set up ClickUp in a way that makes work easier? Then once the foundation is there, the AI features become way more valuable. So my final verdict. I do think ClickUp is worth trying in 2026, especially if you are managing projects, contact clients, or a growing business. The AI features are useful, but they are not the whole reason to use ClickUp. The real value is that ClickUp can become one central place for your work. Tasks, docs, projects, deadlines, ideas, and workflows all in one place. The AI makes that better, but the setup still matters. So, if you are a beginner, do not open ClickUp and try to use everything immediately. Start simple, build one workflow, use it, then add more features as you need them. This is how ClickUp becomes helpful instead of overwhelming. And of course, if you do want to test it out, I will leave a link in the description and the pinned comment where you can create a free ClickUp account. No card is needed. You can sign up, play around with it, build a simple workspace, and only upgrade later if you decide the paid features are worth it. So the big question is not just, does ClickUp have AI? Yes, of course it does. The better question is, can ClickUp help you organize your work better? And if you set it up the right way, I think the answer is yes. The AI is just the bonus that makes a good setup even smarter. Thank you so much for watching, and enjoy.